my goodness, the wide receivers, they lose two of the best in the country, and they are still loaded beyond belief. I don't know if these guys can meet expectations, exceed expectations. I don't know what they can possibly be, that they just don't haul down everything in sight. But the room is loaded. I guess it's up to Ryan Day and staff to figure out who should go where in regards to the X and the Y in the slot and how that plays out.
Absolutely. I mean, it's crazy that you lose a guy like Garrett Wilson, a guy like Chris Olave, who had done so much in their careers to the NFL, and Jackson Smith-Njigba still is arguably the best receiver of that group. Statistically, he had the most yards last year, the most receptions, didn't have the most touchdowns, only 9 touchdowns, But to have a guy like that coming back is huge for Ohio State. I mean, he's NFL ready probably right now with the year he put together. And then, as you mentioned, the other guys behind them, Marvin Harrison Jr., who really showed up in the Rose Bowl with his performance, 3 touchdowns in that game. The first real times Ohio State got to see him in game action. He did play a little bit throughout the season, but that was the first time without Chris Olave, without Garrett Wilson, that he got a chance to shine. Emeka Egbuka, Buckeye fans saw him with the ball in his hands on special teams quite a bit. Still only had 9 catches on the year, 191 yards. I think that number will increase this year. But depending on how Ohio State's lines up, if Jackson Smith-Njigba remains as the slot receiver, which is what he was more often than not this year, that's where Emeka Egbuka generally lined up as well. So either they're going to move guys around a bit more to get Emeka Egbuka on the field, or maybe he's a guy that still takes another year or so. Remember, he was the number one receiver recruit in the country last year. Maybe he takes another year to really pop for Ohio State. But Brian Hartline's done a great job of figuring out how to get these guys on the field, how to maximize the talent they have in the receiver room. And, that's only the top 3 guys that we're talking about there. Julian Fleming, who was the number one receiver recruit in the country 2 years ago, will be entering his 3rd year. He's hoping to be healthy after dealing with shoulder injuries. Hasn't quite lived up to the hype yet. That could be a guy who emerges as another outside threat. They just have a number of guys that could step in. We could go down the list, but we would be here all day talking Ohio State wide receivers. Just rest assured, CJ Stroud has plenty of weapons to throw the ball to.